The Drop with Frank and Brian is officially brought to you by Switch Suspension. Switch Suspension specializes in all vehicle chassis components. Lift kits, lowering kits, air ride suspension, wheels, tires, steering, and brake upgrades. They use all the best products from the best brands. And these guys are truck guys. You roll into their parking lot at the shop and they all drive custom vehicles. So they use their products that they sell on their own vehicles. So if you guys are looking for anything for your vehicles, whether you're just starting out or you just need some replacement parts or whatever, give them a call or visit their website, switchsuspension.com.
Just want to let you guys know that we're announcing our next giveaway. We're giving away another Acura E-Level kit. Big thanks to Acura for getting with us on this giveaway. All you got to do is either go to livelifecustom.com or grinder-tv.com, and every $5 spent, you get one entry into the draw. Enjoy this week's episode.
How's that?
Mucho better.
Mucho better, much better. Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, before it was just said FN with a black screen.
Yeah. Well, once again, everybody's home sucking up the internet, so we'll see how it goes today. Which our listeners tuning in today, people are like, hey,
where's that guest episode?
Where's those guest episodes at? You liars. Yes, we're liars.
We're liars. And just to, yeah, it's just us.
Well, it's just me, basically. I mean,
it's just us. It's
just us today.
Yeah.
You get one more week of just us talking. I'm clearly a little sick. My family got annihilated this week with sickness. And
you must be on the tail end of it because, like, the last month, people have just been sick all over the place. So you must be getting the tail end of it.
Well, it's been weird. So it started. My mom had her 70th birthday party last weekend. And we had a ton of people here, like 100 people.
Yeah.
And but it wasn't from that. Angie actually got it from work from some of her coworkers. And she, like, Saturday was like, oh, man, my throat feels a little weird. And she's kind of allergic to cats. So, we're like, oh, it's probably the cat. It's never the cat and it's never allergies. Okay. Let's say that right now. If you hear someone and they're like, oh, I have a little allergies. No, you don't.
No, you don't. You're sick. Get away from me.
So then Sunday she gets up just like, oh, done. And then so she spends Sunday, Monday just annihilated. And I feel that little tickle in the back of my throat. And I'm like, here we go. And then like dominoes, one by one, the family falls. And my kids got super sick. And it was weird for me because, like, I got super sick one day. And I was like, okay, here we go. And then I woke up the next day. I'm like, I feel great. Went to the shop, did work. Everything was great. And then went down again. So I don't know. It was like a little thing. So as Roulette would say, it's been a week. It's been a week.
We're going to make a shirt that says that.
I know, right? Right?
Yeah.
I'm going to say that. That's what Roulette says. I've never said that. That's only Roulette says.
Only Roulette. He makes stuff up in his head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, so bear with me. I'm going to be doing a lot of this. I'm going to be doing a lot of coughing. So look, I'll just, like, this is what it's like. So we had anticipated for me to come out last night. Or tonight. Today's Thursday. And I was going to come out there tonight and we were going to record episodes tomorrow and we were going to do all this stuff. I don't know if you remember, I think it was the last episode when you were like, yeah, when you come out next week. And I was like, what? And then I was like behind on the shirts.
Yeah.
So it all kind of works out actually because, like, I was like really busting my butt to get those shirts done. So like I was kind of up against the wall about that. I was dealing with sick family and sick kids. In the meantime, in the back of my head, like, I got to get these shirts done, and I'm juggling 2 jobs right now at once. And so, like, it actually worked out well. It
worked out well for me too.
Oh, it did.
It did. That's why when we were talking yesterday, yesterday was Wednesday, and I was, and it was funny because you were like, when I said, "Oh, next week," you're like, "What, next week?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and then you're like, "Okay," and then you're like, "Okay," Angie got sick, and I'm like, this fool just making excuses now.
Oh, you thought I was lying?
No, not lying, but I do the same thing. Okay.
Oh,
I am very like, if it's not that, okay, it's not that I don't want to do something. It's that I have a lot to do. So I'm like, well, I really want to do this, but I wish I had another week. So I will start like in my head, I will start making scenarios up and dropping hints, like doing things. So I'm like, is he doing what I do? And then
I don't do that. I'm pretty like, I will jump through. Like, had I not gotten in this like sick thing, I would have made it happen. I would have done it. You know?
And I'm getting better at just like, this is just me. This is not you. This is me. Because I'll make excuses. and I will trick myself into like making those excuses legitimate because it's not that again that I don't want to do it. I just want to do it later or whatever. But when you started doing that, I was like, okay, this might actually work if he doesn't come out.
Right.
So I was waiting for you to drop the next one.
Yeah.
And the next one was when you said you were in urgent care with your kids.
Yeah.
Not that I was like, oh, he's just making it, but I'm just like, oh no, this is the perfect time to get out of this for myself.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah.
let's just do this next week because I've been this Dino's video has got me just messed up.
Really?
I get this weird thing where I have to finish this project. I've got like 7 things to edit for other people right now, and I can't start those. I have to.
But you have to finish this. I know. I get it.
And it's been bugging me, and it's just bad. But I finally, just like 2 hours ago, I went back to the original song that I first wanted to put on the video, and I started editing on it, and I didn't like it. And then I started looking for more music. And I went back to this song because I love it so much. And I was like, I'm just gonna make it where, and I just started going clip, and I'm just like, now I'm excited.
It sometimes works out like that. Yeah, it's crazy. We have very interesting things going on in our life. We were talking about it a lot yesterday.
Yeah,
through messages and stuff. And I don't know, like I was in a different. I don't know if it's the meds. It might be the meds. I'm seriously. I'm taking an antibiotic. I'm taking a steroid. I'm taking a cough medicine. I got a little cocktail going on, and I don't know if it's that, but something is on. I feel like. Do you remember that movie where he like takes the little pill, and then all of a sudden he's like super smart?
No.
Anyway, with Bradley Cooper. Anyway, doesn't matter. He takes his medicine. All of a sudden he's super smart. I feel like that's me. I just like took this cocktail, and like now I can see clearly. I don't know. We'll see how this works tomorrow.
Speaking of shirts, though.
Yeah.
We got a ton of pre-orders, so thank you everybody for that.
That was awesome. I was like, wow. It's like, anyway, it was great. Thank you.
Yeah. But you're going to get those now. You'll get them sometime this month.
We're working.
Letting you know. I actually, some people ordered that and then they ordered a shirt for me or a wallet or something. So I'm like, I've just been shipping those out. So if you get something and not the drop shirt, you'll get that.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
It came together. That was what I was juggling. I'm juggling another job in those shirts right now, and they came out great. Big shout out to Chris Rhodes. His artwork is great.
Cool.
Like I always like working with artists, and I actually ran into this. We're gonna jump all over the place, but
that's fine.
So a couple people have hit me up about shirts, and can you make this design? And I look at the design. I'm like, I can't make that. I can make something else if you work with the artist and tell it, because like the artist needs to know. The artist can create something.
Yeah.
But they need to know, like, okay, if they really work with like t-shirt guys, they need to know like how many colors it's going to be and what color shirt it's going to be on.
Yeah.
And then they can manipulate the artwork to work with that. So it's kind of hard to explain to people when they ask me like, hey, can you make this for me? I was like, well, no, because like that, to make it exactly like that is going to be like 12 colors.
Yeah.
But if they went back to but I try to explain to them, like, if you go back to their artist and say, hey, oh, you know, my screen printer said that, like, if you can get this down to this many colors on this t-shirt, you can make it work. And then usually that artist will be like, okay. And that's what Chris did for us.
Yeah.
Chris came up with a design, and I looked at him like, okay, that's cool, but it would be easier if we just changed these couple things, and it all just boom came together.
It's one of those things where you look at something as someone that's not an artist and also someone that's not a screen printer, you don't realize how many colors are in designs.
Yeah.
So I remember when Chris did the Dotson shirt for me, and I was like, oh, this is like 3 colors. And I sent it to Brandon. Brandon's like, this is like 9 colors. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, and I don't. So even Chris was kind of like, it's that, like he kind of was kind of like tossed back. And I think it's because Brandon was like, in order for me to make this work, we have to do the, I don't know, screen printer talk, right? And graphic design talk and all this stuff. So it was cool that he made it work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and no, they came out great. I'm really stoked about them. And like I said, now that I have a little more time, because I'm coming out next week now, and now I'm going to get everything dialed in. Everybody's pre-orders and the stock, and
I need to double check. I haven't asked anyone if they're available next week yet.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
I wondered that because, like, They know we're canceled this week, right?
Oh yeah,
Cool.
Everybody was fluid with moving that. The problem becomes like, they have stuff. They all work Monday through Friday. These people have jobs, and it's funny when we schedule stuff because I'm just like, yeah, whenever, I don't even care. And then you think that everyone's like that, and then they're like, oh, actually, no, we do things on the weekends because we work during the week. I'm like,
right. Yeah.
But so I have to just double check and move things around. But either way, I think it actually might work out better. We might be able to knock out
I think we might be able to knock out an extra one now.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think that'll work out well.
Yeah.
And then also what this opportunity gives us, it gives us another week for everybody to submit more questions. Yes. I think everybody heard it. We got a few, but we need more. So if you're listening to this,
we want more. So don't hold back.
Yeah.
Don't hold back.
Don't be shy.
If you have questions for Scott Nelson of RevB Chassis, anything about chassis, suspensions, starting a chassis company, anything like that, it helps us dial in our questions too. Mm-hmm. And then obviously, and then Trevor, if you have any questions about Panda Belt Fab, him and No Regrets, anything like that, his Tacoma, his builds, and then Will with his with Surface and anything like that too. The resurgence of him making videos again.
Yeah.
And the dynamic of him doing it, and then versus the three of them that used to do it. That's all the stuff that I want to talk about with him.
Yeah, definitely. So if you have any questions for those, please submit them and get them in here so we can get them asked or into the conversation.
Yeah,
because that's what it is we're going to just sit down and have a nice conversation. We're not going to be like, okay, please tell us about this now.
It'll be interesting because
question one.
Will's will be easy. We both know Will.
Yeah.
Trevor's will be easy because we both know Trevor. But we have the thing in common is the mini trucking. So we can but Scott will be interesting because Scott is just not we don't know him on a personal level.
Right.
So we're kind of challenging ourselves.
Yeah. It's going to be fun. Yeah. And I you know what, back to my clarity thing that I was talking about and all these meds that are just floating around in my brain. We were having this discussion yesterday. Like we do a lot, we have this discussion where what do we want to do? Where are we going? Who are we basically?
Yeah.
And I really was in that kind of headspace yesterday. What is it? But today, and again, I don't know if it's the meds, I have a clear vision.
Yeah. What's your clear vision?
Well, I'm not going to get into specifics of it. Maybe that's for the post pod, but, I definitely just I'm excited to do stuff. I'm excited to make these podcasts. I'm excited to make these shirts. I'm excited to make videos. One thing that I can share is, we were talking about what's the direction of our videos? Where are we going? Where have we been? What have we become? And I think, and we kind of talked a little about this in a few episodes ago when we were talking about our designs. I'm leaning way back into what I was doing before, which is vlog style videos, which is me taking everybody along with me on a trip and showing the ins and outs. And if it gets repetitive, it might get repetitive where we print t-shirts, we load up the trailer, we hook up the trailer, we go to these places. We probably stop at the same stops that we usually stop at. But you know what? That is the journey.
That also could force you to change a little bit. Mm-hmm. You could say, okay, well, instead of doing this, and this, maybe I'll change it up a little bit. It could be stopping at a different gas station. It could be going a different route. It could be getting ready early. It could be a multitude of things. It could be you going out to the trailer and going, I'm going to rearrange this trailer to make things easy, and filming that.
I think, and I think people will find that interesting because that's what people found interesting before. That's how, from my perspective, that's how I built the audience. I built the audience on hey, this guy does kind of interesting things and he goes to these interesting places and he does these interesting stuff. And yeah, I like that. And then in my head, I kind of got to a point where I was like, I don't think people are interested in this. They want to see vehicles, So then I got into this thing where it's the show coverage matters so much.
Yeah.
Which is, show coverage is important, but I think the show coverage is important for context.
It is. It's where I'm here at the show. Let me show you a little bit of it.
A little of the show, but what happens is you're okay, get this one and get this one.
Yeah, because you're taking your viewers on a trip, your trip, Frank's trip, custom life trip, and not necessarily showing them gas station and this, but there, walk around that show with your camera pointed at you and talk about what you're seeing.
Yeah. what I like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And not necessarily like, oh, this is a Toyota and I like it because it looks cool. Here's a couple shots of it. But like almost like talk while you're like, I don't know how to describe it. But
no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because my videos, I feel like my videos lately have gone like this. Like interesting things getting out to the show. The show is interesting. And I'm going to say this with a little bit of a caveat. I'm not saying that the show vehicles are not interesting, but I feel like my videos go boom, and then you just get into this repetitive thing about show coverage. And then, oh, an interesting thing happened. And then right back into this repetitive show coverage thing.
Yeah.
I want to focus more because my favorite parts of everything that we do is creating merchandise, selling that merchandise, hanging out with our friends, and showing off these vehicles in a way that I want to show them off. And the way I want to show them off is like them actually working. So like there's these like high spots in my video. It's like me creating the merch, me going to the show, me showing these cool trucks cruising, doing all this stuff, showing all of my friends having a good time. And then in the middle are these like little dips.
Yeah.
So I want to get rid of those dips and make those dips as interesting as everything else.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a clarity that I had today. And again, I don't know. I'm on steroids, I guess. So
maybe you should just do drugs. It's like,
I know, right?
It's just like the bands, you know, like Guns N' Roses and all these bands that we used to listen to. And then you listen to them now and you're like, why are they different? Oh, that's because they're not on drugs.
Yeah, maybe. So you're
saying so I'm saying you should start doing drugs.
Do drugs. Okay. Yeah,
do
cool.
it backwards. You didn't do drugs. I mean, maybe you did, but do good drugs now.
You don't know me.
I know. Just you're out at Mini Nats on shrooms.
Yeah.
You're like, why is Frank's video? Why is he up with the goats up on the mountain?
Why is his video so good now?
No, you're just you up in the hills talking to the camera about life.
Yeah.
Like
and
trying to figure it out, and there's goats behind you, and they're like, and you're anyways.
That's funny. Anyway, I don't know. I'm just like I said, it's just I'm in a better firm mind today.
Good.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's 17 minutes. What else is going on?
Nothing.
Yeah.
I know. I messaged Panda last night and during our little back and forth conversation. I was like, "Hey, I'm not trying to put this on you because I'm in no way rushing Panda or Alan or any of these people working on my truck, right? Because they.
Oh, that's okay.
Right. But I was like, I need to make a video, and so when can I'm gonna instead of because the last two videos of the truck were like the truck in Texas, then the truck at Panda's, then the truck at Allen's, and then with the show. Now I need to kind of get into the nitty gritty of it and actually show what we're doing. So I was like, I need to know when you're going to work on the bed because I want to be down there for an entire day cutting and measuring and you telling me why you're doing this and a plan and execution. And when we don't have to show the truck leaving Panda's, we just have to show the steps because there's big steps happening down there right now. And I want to, and I can make videos out of those.
Well, yeah. Well, and that's part of the whole purpose of the truck.
Well, the problem is he's an hour and 20 minutes away.
That's far.
So I just need to, we just need to plan it. So that's what I told him. I was like, look, I don't want to put this on you. Like I'm waiting on you. I just need you to tell me when we can do this. Cause I don't want to come down there for 5 minutes, get a couple progress videos and then leave. I want to come down there for a couple of hours. So just tell me when you can do that. So he was like, Monday is Tacoma Day. And I was like, okay.
Nice.
So I'm going to go down there and spend pretty much the entire day down there.
That's awesome. That's great. And again, that was kind of the purpose of the truck. One of the purposes of the truck. Well, the main purpose is you to have your truck back after all these years. But the other purpose is to create content and that's the kind of content that you enjoy creating.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's the content that I enjoy editing, I think.
Okay.
It's the content that I enjoy. It's hard for me to say because I do enjoy the show coverage content. What I don't enjoy about the show coverage content is the pressure to get it out. And I don't know. It's so hard to explain. But Panda had one of these made. Look at that.
I saw that. I didn't see it with the 3 panels in the back, but I saw the truck. That's sick.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I was like, oh. Anyways,
and that's one of the things. It's I could because the person I was referencing to earlier about talking about the colors and stuff that was one of the Panda came to me with a shirt and he doesn't know he just comes to me and says, hey, can you make this? So I want to work with him. I want to, and that's another one little thing.
Panda said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
we talked about that the other day. I was like, talk to Frank, get some shirts.
Yeah, which I can do, but and I also want to be like more proactive with people, like trying to get to instead of just saying like, oh no, I can't make that, be like, I can't make that. This is why. Let's try to figure it out so I can make it. You know what I mean?
It's exactly. That's because if you don't, he's just gonna go, oh, because he doesn't have time to mess around with it. So it's just like, hey, who's your artist? And he's actually been working with Chris too.
Oh, okay. Did Chris do that?
Which
one?
one? No, not
one
that
you just showed me.
Not that one.
Yeah, because that's the one called like Stance Car.
Yeah, it's one of those one of those guys. But like or actually it's one of the Sticker Mule did it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So but yeah, no, Chris has actually been messing with some stuff for Panda. So
oh, cool. He showed me one. I don't know if you saw it. Like it's the Panda wearing a suit.
I don't know. Chris has showed me a couple different ones. So
because like Trevor posted that, and it's the Panda, but he's like wearing like a gangster suit, and he's got like the gun referencing the old S10.
Yeah.
And I'm all, that's it. Like that's the shirt. Like that's the shirt you need to make because that's really cool. Like the truck stuff is cool, like very cool, and but that Panda thing, like that's the essence, I think. And I messaged him and I told him that. I was like, yeah, that's the one. Let's make that.
Yeah. So it'll be pretty cool. And the cool thing about that is he can just, you being proactive and being like, all right, let me figure this out. You can actually just go around Panda now and reach out and talk to Chris. Maybe you can go back and forth.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Just to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Even Scott too. He might reach out to you and ask you about.
Yeah, that's one thing. One thing I really want to talk to Scott about is he has such a good eye for like marketing and design and like what's the word that I'm looking for? Like he just knows what looks cool. Yeah. Basically, he has a very good eye for he knows what looks cool, and a lot of people try to do that. Mm-hmm. Some succeed, some don't. But some people are just naturally talented at it, and Scott is naturally talented at doing that.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny. I'm making some videos for him, and I was over there yesterday or 2 days ago, and I was over there a few weeks ago, and we were talking. Like he's like, "Yeah, I want to start making some videos." Da da da. I said, "All right, storyboard stuff." I was like, "Because you're very picky, with how you wanted things done." Yeah. And he's like, "All right." And then I get there Tuesday. I was like, "So did you storyboard anything?" He's like, nah, it's in my head. I'm like, okay. So we start filming. He's like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, this is why you write things down. Like, because it's when it comes to like, there's different types of videos. So when I go to like Jeremy's at Tray 5, we're just very fluid. We're just put the camera on. He just talks, blah, 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 blah.
Is it because he's been doing it for so long?
No, I just think he cares obviously about the quality of the video, but it's just fun. Where Scott's is more structured to like marketing to like that side of things, and when you have a different type of client where they kind of are more pickier about what they want, the image, this, like it's kind of on them a little bit to, to structure that and help me. So
yeah, no, that helps a lot. Angie's been telling me that for a long time, and when I do it, it works out well when you write something down, or like I'm doing something for like Dwight, which I know I still have to make something else, but I'll write that stuff down, even like a little script, because it just helps stay on track, it helps stay on track and keeps that momentum going.
Yeah. And being proactive, like how you were saying with like, oh yeah, I can't, instead of saying you can't, like, let's just figure this out. Yeah.
And I really want to try to work harder on that way, because I feel like a lot of stuff gets left on the table that way. When you say like, oh, I can't do it. And instead of explaining why or trying to work to a solution about it, it just gets kind of like put off, Yeah. So anyway, so there's a lot of, we talked a couple episodes ago about being in this new year and working out and like doing stuff to move forward. And that's what we're applying.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like this. I really think that this podcast helps us be held accountable because we talk about it so often.
Yeah.
Instead of like talking about it, be like, oh yeah, we should do this. We should do this. We're like doing it.
Yeah. And being proactive, like just being proactive and like not letting things go. Cause I have to be proactive with my shirts, the designs. It's just like, I have this idea. I want to do it. I want to get it done. And so I have to constantly keep on these people to like, hey, I'm still interested in this. I want to keep moving forward without without being annoying type thing. So,
how's your LST shirt coming along?
It's nothing yet, but it will be. I'm pretty sure soon.
It's coming down to it, dude. That's another thing we should start kind of talking about to getting ourselves revved up for is LST is going to be here soon.
I know.
It's so soon.
It's yeah. I asked Brandon. I was like, hey, so the last thing he did was the club artwork, which we didn't talk about yet.
We didn't. Oh yeah,
we talked about it, but we never talked about the final version of it.
Right. Which I was wondering about in the last episode. Should we include the final artwork?
Yeah, we didn't. We'll put it right here.
But here it is.
Here it is.
Here it is. This is the final artwork for the Forbidden Fantasy show this year.
It's kind of cool seeing the sketches and then seeing what the final is.
Yeah.
And then someone wanted us to go over the characters.
I know, and I was wondering if you wanted to do that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
Okay, obviously, it's Roulette with a bunch of characters around him. Oh, that's the character that I'm not going to go over because we're waiting for.
Okay.
There is a character in this artwork, and it is someone, but that person has not figured it out yet, and it's no one in our car club. This is someone in not in the club.
Yes. Can I say one little thing that might be a hint?
Yes.
Exactly what's happening? Because in the last episode when we were talking about the artwork, I had said, us putting Ro in there was like a thing. And I said, oh man, another person who's been a really consistent driving force throughout all of these years is Brandon creating these shirts.
Oh yeah.
Well, there is actually a little bit of that in there.
There is.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah. But
that's the hint.
That's the hint. Yeah. So one of these characters is someone that some of the listeners might know too, but it's going to be a tough one. We're going to wait till that person figures it out, and he may never figure it out.
Well,
it might not be till the show that we tell him this.
Yeah.
So it's up to Brandon because it was kind of his idea.
I would say look very closely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But none of these are really anyone. So except the beaver is it kind of represents Bucky the Beaver type thing, but it doesn't.
Which
look
is Roulette, sort of like Brand.
Yeah, but yeah, these are just they don't represent anyone in particular.
Which is funny because throughout the years of creating this art, everybody assumes it does.
Yeah.
Even way back, because I remember you saying not we because I wasn't part of the club, but back when in 08 or 07, I think it was 08, when you did the Puppet Master with the giveaway truck, and everybody thought you were the Puppet Master.
I know, so terrible.
Which is hilarious. Which wasn't a thing. Obviously the 09 one with Obama. Obviously that's Obama.
Yeah.
Yes. But on the other ones, there's one in 12. Which had Rob's car, and I forget who else, and it was the bushmeat one.
Yeah,
and everybody was assumed that the one the guy was Rob, but they were all wearing gas masks, so you couldn't tell. But everybody thought, oh, that's Rob. Oh, that's this person. Oh, that's this person. And then again, when we first went to the Avi, and it was Ed's truck and Jose's truck. Well, everybody assumed that the two characters that were pushing it were Jose and Erica.
Yeah. Oh yeah, did they
remember that? Yeah, well, at least a couple people did.
Oh,
I did. I was one of those people, and a couple other people did. But it's funny, how our brains are always trying to look for patterns, always trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah. Or think we know think we figured it out.
Yeah. There's always something. It is kind of funny because our brains are always trying to put stuff together. Oh, this must mean this, but it doesn't. But then this time, it actually does mean something.
Yeah.
So it does gives a little credit to all of those other thoughts. You know?
But yeah, it came out really good, and
really stoked for it. Again, really excited for Trevor and Tony having their vehicles on there, and stoked for the show, dude. Have you been getting a lot of messages about people
oh yeah, hey, so I didn't even talk about when we opened it up for pre-reg. It was and so this is how this went down.
That's all that just happened.
What were you talking about right before this? Because we weren't done with that.
I was asking you how your LST artwork was coming along.
Oh,
and then you said, "Oh, it's not. Let's just talk about the."
Oh yeah. So the LST artwork is my next thing, and then I also was like, "Oh, I need stock." I need Dotson shirts. I need Dooley shirts. I need all of them. Just oh man, I'm not making no money at LST. It's all going to this. Anyways.
Yeah, same boat, so don't feel bad.
Yeah. Weather better be good.
Oh. Whew. That's a talk for another talk.
Anyways,
As we gear up and get closer.
I know we could talk about it on the way out and be in complete silence like that one time.
Yeah. But you know what?
Yeah.
Just to not, again, we're on all over the place, which we usually do. But like, this is our what? 8th time going, 9th time going.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna be fine, dude.
Oh, we always.
Whatever.
Yeah, we always are.
Whatever happens.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah. So pre-reg. So it is so windy outside. Things are blowing around like crazy.
Dude, it was so windy here. Like it's a thing in the desert for it to be windy, but my trampoline almost flew away yesterday.
Oh really?
It was that bad, and we have a heavy freaking trampoline. Anywho,
anyways, yeah. So last Friday we opened up pre-registration at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. here. So the way that we use Eventbrite to sell the tickets is I had it password protected, right? And I sent it to a couple people early to try to make sure it worked, right? I'm like, here, register your card, just make sure it worked. And they did. Everything went fine. So I was like, okay, at 5:59, I'm going to hit public. What I didn't know is when you hit public, if you have it set up for a password, it doesn't allow you to set it for a public until 30 minutes. So it's a 30-minute increment. So I would have had to set it public.
what? Hold on. Why is there a thumbs up on my screen?
I have no idea.
Did you see that?
No.
That was the weirdest thing. That was weird. What is that?
On your
On your. Oh, do you see that?
no.
What is happening right now?
Oh, I see it. Yeah, I see that.
What is going on?
Oh, that must be the new. There's some new stuff happening within FaceTime, and and that must be one of those things.
Dude, that freaked me out just now. Are you trying to? Oh
There
my
it
gosh!
is. There
what
it
the
is. Yeah.
heck?
I wonder if I do a heart, it'll do it. There it is.
Oh my gosh! What is going on?
Yeah.
I thought maybe the meds. I'm
You're
definitely
freaking hallucinating.
I'm hallucinating.
No, that's a new thing on
this podcast. Is not even happening right now.
I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking about that. They're like, "What's happening?" And it's a new thing on FaceTime where
That's
if
funny.
you make certain. I wonder if I can just like wave them all. Anyways,
This episode is off
It
of
is,
the
it
rails.
is
Thanks
off
for
the rails.
thanks for tuning in this week.
We
when
knew
you were
what-
tuning in to this morning, waiting to hear from Trevor, and you're like, "What?"
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in.
yeah,
Thanks for
sorry
hanging
to
with us.
disappoint you guys.
Yeah, thanks for hanging with us today.
So, anyways, the Eventbrite at 5, I would have had to release or make it public, announce that I was select a public option with the time on Eventbrite at 5:30, so it went live at 6.
Mm-hmm.
But when I clicked it at like 5:58, they were like, "Oh, you have to give us a half hour notice," and I was like, "Oh crap!" So it still went live. I gave the link out and stuff like that on the Instagram page, but people needed a password to register. So I'm getting nailed. They're like,
me too.
"Password. Hey, what's the password? Is there a password?"
Yeah.
So I'm just sitting there like this with the password, like copy paste. I put it in the story, so most people saw the story and hit it
With
and
the password.
with the password, but. It yeah, for half an hour I was just sitting there like, here's the password. I was getting like email, Instagram, Facebook messages. Hey, what's that? There are people freaking out. Like,
Well, yeah, and understandably so, because like there's only so many pre-registers, and once those things are gone, they're gone.
Yeah.
And I was getting messages a few days later. I don't know, just because like I don't know why, but I get a message saying like, "Hey, so what's the pre-reg?" Or like, "Oh, I can't get a pre-reg. What's the problem?" I'm like, "They're gone."
yeah,
Like they don't exist anymore. Like, you got to be quicker than that.
yeah. And I limited it to one per thing, so people couldn't buy a bunch of them. They had to buy one.
Oh,
at
really?
a time. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think most people got in. There is a waiting list, and we'll get those people in easily. So, it went really smooth though, and it sold out in about an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. I'm really excited. I'm glad people are excited about it too.
Yeah.
Back at the Avi, like all of these things happening. The Avi remodeled.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be great. It's going to be so much fun.
It will. So, what else are we talking about?
I don't know, man. Like we're kind of out here on a limb today, but talked about the Forbidden show. Well, I guess we could get right back into LST. Like, yeah, that's coming up quick. We're always worried about the weather. You know, Joe's coming back with us. That's pretty cool. Joe's heading back out there to set up his booth.
Yeah.
That's really cool because he missed last year to some health stuff, but he's back.
He is back, ready to go.
You know, we got the crew going, and it's going to be another adventure out to Texas.
It is. Chupus is flying in.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Chubas is coming out.
His plane lands early Thursday. We leave Wednesday, right? We leave Wednesday morning.
Yeah, we usually leave Wednesday morning and then stop in Fort Stockton and then head out there and get there by Thursday night.
Yeah.
Which is probably the same format we'll follow again.
He's gonna have to hang out because he lands Thursday afternoon, like at 2:30 or something.
Oh yeah. We usually don't get there till like 9 o'clock.
Yeah, so I'll give him the address to the Airbnb and he can go check in for us.
There you go. That's a good idea.
And then
I know that's kind of far out, but have you looked at the weather?
No.
Doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter.
It honestly doesn't matter.
And it seems like there's always the pattern where right before there's always a bad storm. You remember when there was all the snow up in Flagstaff and all those guys that were driving from Vegas and stuff got caught. And I think last year James from Level Ride got caught in snow in Flagstaff. So it's like,
that's right.
There's always and there's been ice storms. So right around that time, there's always something that happens, and we got to figure out the window. If we're in the window, if we're before the window, if we're after the window. 2 years ago is when they had that really bad snowstorm.
I was going to bring that up,
in Texas,
and also that was the same year that we do our thing. I get to you, we get everything together. We're going. We stop at Fort Stockton, and a war broke out, and we're like, oh
no, that was a different year. That was
21.
No, the big freeze was when I went out there early. Because I had the Airbnb.
And that's right. You had and you had Frank's truck and stuff.
Yep. And then the war broke out, and the gas price, they were just going up, and we're driving home racing gas prices going up.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, we've had some pretty interesting things happen. Yeah. There was also that crazy ice storm way in the beginning when we started going. Like the first year I went in 15.
When you went over the bridge and your truck slid, and we go, we're gonna stop and get a hotel. Yeah,
that's what it was. No, that happened the next day actually. The sliding happened the next day.
No, it was the night before. It was it was before we got to Fort Stockton. We were driving at night because when we left Fort Stockton the next day in the morning, it was still frozen. But by the time we got to Van Horn, it was all thawed out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, wild times. Yes. Wild times. I still have a picture. That was the year that everybody's posting pictures of their vehicles, and like my truck had ice all over it. And then remember Juan from Severed?
Oh yeah.
With his orange 300, it was covered in ice.
Yeah.
The whole thing was encapsulated in ice. It was crazy, dude. LST, dude.
It's always
a wild time, and we keep going back.
And then
because it's a great show, and Lonnie and Radar and all the dudes are just super cool dudes.
I know. And Morgan had a good idea though with renting an RV and just taking the enclosed trailer out there, like the big enclosed, with all of our because all of our booth stuff would fit in the big enclosed, and then. If we had like a Class C motorhome, we could all fit in there.
That'd be amazing.
It would be so much fun. But then I just think of the year we went, and me and Morgan were sitting in her truck with the heater on, watching Joe being completely miserable, Lindsay in my booth with her rain boots on, and just like happy-go-lucky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you and Angie were in your guys' booth, like everything's fine. This
ignoring
is fine.
it like nothing's happening.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm ready. I'm gonna go home right now.
That was 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then of course the year of the rain, when we got rained out and sitting in CC's Pizza just eating.
That was Sunday when it rained all night. Saturday we woke up. It's pouring rain. We get there. Was it still raining when we were taking stuff down, or it had it stopped?
It broke up, and we were able to kind of like sell a few things in the morning, but then it just broke out in the afternoon, and we're like just throwing things in the trailer. Like I'm in the trailer, like trying, as you guys are like throwing stuff in the trailer, I'm in there like trying to organize it, getting it all down and everything, and then
that's when we had wood. We had all the wood everywhere.
Yeah, that's when we had all the wood everywhere because that was
we got there and just started tearing down.
We did?
I think so.
We didn't even attempt to.
I don't think, because I think, did your Easy Up have all the water in it?
Yeah.
And it stretched the top out?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. There's been so many.
Dude.
It's crazy.
And now Lonnie is like, can you guys just please shut up?
Yeah, I know. He doesn't listen to this.
No, don't say it. Don't. Oh yeah, he doesn't listen.
He's waiting for me to make a video too. I'm gonna make a little commercial for him. And
cool.
Yeah. That's what that I got. I make a video for him. I've got a video for Slowdown because I've got all their footage to edit right after Dino's, and he wants a promo video. I'm like, I'm waiting so long to edit some of these videos that it's coming now back around to when the shows are starting to promote themselves, and I feel bad, but at the same time, I'm like, I never promised anyone when the videos would be done, but I'm like, man, I got to get this stuff done.
I'm still on that 6-month trajectory. So I'm currently working on the A Day to Remember show, and that was in November. So we're only 2-3 months into this. So you got a little bit before you see it.
Yeah, I'll have Dino's done. I'm gonna try to have Dino's done today and tomorrow. That was like when we decided that you weren't gonna come out. I was like, whoo, yes, because I can finish Dino's today and tomorrow, and then be done with it for the weekend, and then get on to the other stuff.
Yeah. I'm so stoked for the Dino's video just for the mic on the mic stuff. Is it good?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know?
I have.
It's good.
It's good. It's always good. I just don't have the funny stuff cut yet. I have some stuff cut, but not everything. So do you just edit the show and then you're just like leaving gaps where you're like, oh, I'm going to drop some mic stuff right here. I'm going to drop some mic stuff right there. So I put, so I make different sequences. So I have like 6 sequences in the Premiere thing, and one of them is interviews. So I drop all of Mike's interviews in that, and then I cut all of the good stuff, and then I just start editing that down.
Oh, okay.
Editing that down. So like the next one will be.
I never thought of that. That's a good idea.
Yeah. So I have a
good idea.
Like on right now I have a sequence. It's the main timeline. And then there's another sequence that says extra footage. So as I'm trimming the footage, I just dump the extra footage that I'm not using in there. So if I need to fill gaps anywhere, I click that, and then I have all my extra footage that I haven't used, and it's in that.
Oh, that's
and
a
I
great
just drag
idea.
it in.
See, that's the little things that help out with the workflow stuff. That's how I figured out the teasers
and bins.
Just finding out that
and bins. So like even when I'm editing this, I have a bin Brian, a bin Frank, and so now I have bins in the Dinos where it's like Brian, Chupus, drones, music, sequences. So everything's in bins. And because you can drop folders straight from your desktop into Premiere, into your thing, and it creates a bin.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So it's yeah, that's helped me quite a bit. It's more useful when I have footage from me, footage from Mike, footage from Chupus, footage from like different drones. You know what I mean? So it's just like it keeps it, because I would just go nuts if I didn't.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about, is honing down, and that's for anything. Like even when I'm making shirts and stuff, is honing that workflow down, honing it down to where it's easy. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the hardest part, and I think that's what stands, at least for myself, that's what stands in my way a lot, is just ease, getting it done. Yeah, got to make it easy for myself. Yeah, so I don't like dread having to do like, oh, I got to do this. Like, no, it's already set up, ready to go. Yeah. So workflows, cleaning up the workflows, making it easier, being stuff
organized. Done. Being organized, because there's nothing worse than not being excited to do something. Mm-hmm. When you're not excited to do something, it's so hard to get into it.
I think honestly, like when we sit there and we talk about like in the beginning of this conversation, when I was saying that like we're sitting here like what are we? Who are we? What are we doing? I think that's the biggest thing in our way sometimes is just getting over that like initial feeling. You know what I mean? Yeah. I definitely think that's like 90% of the issue sometimes. Yep. But we just got to get over it and move forward.
And just do it. Mm-hmm. Like commit to it, do it. And there's so many times I'll be like, oh, I'm not looking forward to this, but I am looking forward to it, but I'm not looking forward to it because it's something that I'm doing that's holding it up. Mm-hmm. No, totally get that. Regardless of what it is, but just once you get into it and get over that hump, then
it all starts falling into place. Good. It's like when you're editing that Dino's video and just the working out the song thing, because once it clicked, it's just all like boom, 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 boom. And that, like every project I've ever worked on, I fall into that same thing. I like fight this one thing and I fight this one block, but as soon as I jump over it, everything just starts falling together. And that's for editing, that's for screen printing, that's for anything that I'm doing.
Or just going somewhere. I've psyched myself out about not wanting to go somewhere. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, I don't want to go. And Chelsea's like, do you want to go or not want to go? Because if you don't want to go, like, we're not going. And I'm just like, okay, I'll go. And then once we go, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm glad I did this.
Oh, for
you know?
sure. Yeah, for sure. I think that happens to everybody.
Maybe, and it's also happens like as I'm older too, because I'm just as excited to chill at the house.
Mm-hmm.
But because back in the day, you're just like you want to do everything in your power to not be at the house,
Right.
and then there's this thing that happens, and you're just like, I'm good being at the house.
Yeah. Speaking of which, how's your backyard project coming?
Oh, I'm still transferring pavers from one end to the other.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because so I have 2 pallets of pavers sitting on one side that need to be moved to the other side of the yard in order for all the gravel that I'm going to get to come through, because it's currently blocking it. So I don't have a wheelbarrow or anything, so I go out there and I carry 4 pavers at a time. They're 12 by 12 pavers, and I carry them from one side of the yard to the other, and I go out there every once in a while, and I grab handfuls of them, take them over, and I'm slowly, and I bought extra ones to do another 200 square foot patio to the left of the current patio that we have that I'm not going to do right away, but I wanted to get the pavers now for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm also having to put those over there.
So you had
Just
to excavate all the dirt out and put the rock in to put the pavers on top of the rock?
Yeah, so you take out all the loose topsoil, and then you bring in road base, which is just like rocks and
like
and
pea
dirt.
gravel. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you compact that down, and then on top of that, for the pavers, you put like an inch of sand.
Oh, okay.
Or paver fines is what they're called. And then for the turf, you also put some sand down, so it's for drainage, you know.
Okay.
And then so later on, you won't see the little lumps, because if you just put the pavers on top of the dirt,
It's all uneven and stuff.
Later on, it'll start to be uneven. So it's just such a big patch of area, because I don't want a whole
That's
rock
cool.
backyard.
And you get some exercise doing it, so that's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep. And then I know I still have pavers out there. I was like, oh, Frank will come. He can help me carry these. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, my back is so shot. It is so messed up. I'm like that. I told, and last week's episode I was talking about how I was like just getting my back prepared to like start getting into working again. And dude, it's been rough. I have good days and I have bad days. So
Are you doing any exercise to help that too?
I'm trying to. Yeah, I'm trying to. That's what it's all about. It's about like just strengthening the muscles that are all jacked up, kind of thing. But
Yeah.
it's working out pretty well. But yeah,
Cool.
yeah. Do we got anything to drop in about?
I don't know.
Any leftover, dude?
You had some leftover stuff from last time. Didn't
do?
you or no?
I
or
think
no?
I did. I think I did.
Let's see. Oh, there's 6 chats in the drop.
Yeah. Let me see if I answered all these questions. Actually, yeah, we answered all these. Oh boy.
Oh, Tyler said, you guys, I said, thanks for the questions. Tyler McLaren sent some for, oh, did we already talk about this? Hold on. Oh, so he's got questions for Will, and then and I put, thanks for the question. He goes, you guys don't have to use them if they're dumb. Just thought it might bring something for you guys to talk about.
No, none of them are dumb. They're
He put
never
also,
dumb.
Frank, screen the questions.
Well, yeah, because I usually just jump into them and read them.
Yeah.
You know, we skipped over Bacon's questions the last time because he asked a few of them. So
I just opened up his message right now.
Yeah.
Oh, he was asking about Built to Cruise on YouTube right now. He said this isn't really a question, but more of an investigation.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to Built to Cruise on YouTube? It had great potential.
Good. That is a good question. Those were good episodes. That was the husband and wife who'd go around and like interview like just different people who build trucks and host shows.
He was putting a ton of time into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anyone knows what happened to Built to Cruise, hit us up.
Yeah. Yeah. Those a good series. YouTube is interesting right now. Do you see a lot of like creators and stuff are leaving YouTube?
I saw something about that.
I mean, not necessarily creators that we would be interested in. It's just interesting that these things are happening. There's that Tom Scott guy. I don't know much about him other than he does these like deep analysis videos on like random weird things, buildings and stuff or whatever. Yeah. But he's been doing it for like 13 years. And he just decided like last month, he's like, yeah, it's not my thing anymore. I'm going to quit YouTube and just concentrate on my podcast. And then there's this other guy who my kid watches a lot. He does like video game theories.
Yeah.
And so, you know, he's like, he's been in YouTube for like 13 years and has like 18 million subs. And he's like, I'm done too. I'm just going to hand this channel over to like the new people coming in on board.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like an interesting thing to discuss or think about, like how the landscape of YouTube is changing. Because,
well, we never had YouTube a long time ago, so we don't know. So this is now the people that started, the OGs of YouTube. I mean, even me, I started in 2010.
mm-hmm.
So what I'm going, the paces that I'm going through is part of what all these other people are going through. So imagine like those channels with millions and millions of subscribers or hundreds of thousands of subscribers, the pressure to make content and to make videos. I remember watching a couple, and they just sat down on the couch and they're like, yeah, we're not doing this anymore. And they discussed that the pressure of making YouTube videos. It's like,
right.
You're running out of ideas, and then it's just it becomes your entire life. Just like your job is people's entire life. They work 40 plus hours a week, Monday through Friday. It's the same thing. So
that's exactly what these creators are saying. They're just saying
I think
that
we're seeing that in the motions now live.
That's really interesting, because now YouTube has been around long enough to where that first cycle is kind of closing out, and then will be interesting to see how the new cycle comes in, because a lot of thing that's kind of been preoccupying my mind for a long time has been Hoonigan, like how Hoonigan has changed.
Mm-hmm.
Like Hoonigan went from this like you remember the daily transmission days where they were just recording stuff every day? Like, to me, those were like the golden years of Hoonigan, because like it was fresh content every day. It was like exciting hijinks happening, these characters development happening. And then just like everything else, it grew and grew and grew, and people found other interests, and then Will Pros bought them. And I really saw a huge difference from like, not exactly when Will Pros bought them, but after that things started to change. And now basically all the main characters have left Hoonigan.
Did you watch that video of that one guy?
I started to. I forgot to. I didn't finish it. You're talking about Gary.
It was really good. So like, I never followed Hoonigan enough to notice a change.
Oh, okay.
But I've followed other channels that have gone through a similar change, and it doesn't necessarily come from the very top. It comes from the bottom, actually, because you have all these great personalities, and that's the reason that channel is successful, or the reason that company is successful. But what happens is those guys don't know their identities. They just get together and it's all fun. And then they have different ideas, and then they start focusing their energy on their own identities and their own personal ideas. And then those things become bigger than the original thing, or it takes more time to do that. So they start, and then something can change, like ownership or Ken Block passing away, or whatever, it can change it. And then they go, you know what? I'm going to change my priorities over to here.
That's really interesting. I never thought about it like that.
It's more of an evolution.
Yeah. My thing was just maybe that like you had these like core group of people who created this content, and then when this big like conglomerate came in and bought them, there was like that changed things. But you're absolutely right. It was just those individual pieces evolving and changing and wanting to do something else themselves. And if you look at all of because every single Hoonigan who's left, not every single one, but a majority of them have made videos like, I'm leaving Hoonigan, this is why, you know?
Yeah.
And that, now that you say that, I realize is a complete underlying theme of all of them. They just started to do something else.
And what happens is people like you who were invested into the OG stuff,
right?
They'll be like, oh, because you see it in the comments. Oh, it's changing. Oh, it's this. Well, of course it is.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing is as good as when the OG stuff, the good memories, you know, when new people come in, you're like, I don't really like that person as much as the OG person.
Mm-hmm.
Things start to change, and it's just a natural thing. When I first started watching YouTube, there's a guy named Shay Carl and Charles Trippy and all these creators. They started daily vlogging, and then they all moved to LA, from all these different areas, and they created a media company, and they were making like skits, and they were making short films type things. And then that same thing happened to them. Each of them started to create their own thing. And then it just ended, and everyone was the same thing, as everyone was super like upset and sad and da. And yeah. And
it'd be interesting to see where it goes from here. You know, who's like, cause you can see them kind of like re-ensembling the cast, so to speak. I guess, cause that's one way to put it, cause that's basically what it is. So we'll see if remember how we talk a lot about genuine things coming through and fake things being spotted very quickly. This is going to be a very interesting, like, kind of litmus test for that. Because now that the OG guys have left and they're doing their own things, and you have these new casts coming in who you're not too familiar with, are they going? Here's going to be an interesting crossroads. Are they going to try to force that genuineness onto these new people? Like, hey, like the guys, the Wheel Pro guys who own Hoonigan now, they're like, hey, see this content over here that was so everybody loves? Do that. You know, like
what I think is going to happen is they're going to be like, hey, we need to figure out how to keep the numbers up.
Right. Oh yeah. That's what I mean. And the only way that, and from their perspective, they're just going to say like, well, look what they did back here. That was really successful. Just do that, you know?
Yeah.
And you can't really recreate that. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be a very interesting thing what happens from here on out. Are people just going to go like, nah, or are they going to be into it again?
Yeah.
You know? And also, speaking about hoonigans and stuff like that, this versus that they're doing now, and then that gnarly freaking accident that happened with that Jeep.
Yeah.
That's another interesting kind of thing that they're opening themselves up to as well, because like before when they were doing this versus that with the drag racing, like, yes, things can go wrong in that. I mean, obviously when you have these high powered cars going very quickly one way, something could go wrong. But in general, they're going straight, they're on flat ground. You know what I mean? But now they're taking this like extra risk of doing this like off-road stuff. Like that's another interesting thing that might happen. Like, what if someone that guy could have died.
Yeah, but I mean, again, it could have happened on a drag race too, because they were
I'm just saying that
much faster. It does, but that was an early on episode. They learned from that. So if you watch the current ones, it's different, and I think they're just discussing it more with the people. Like even what's the guy, Shreddy, the Shreddy Life guy that has the Baja. He even in that episode where the Jeep rolled, he goes, we're going to need to talk to these guys beforehand.
You were over at the house and we watched it. I remember you showing me that, and that he had genuine concern in his voice. He's just like,
oh yeah, because I
don't know about this. So
it's funny because I really liked Hoonigan, the this versus that, and I like the off-road version too. So I think that if they can find these original ideas, and then bring in like the Shreddy Life guy, he's really good on camera, and find these people without forcing it, then they'll be fine. But
yeah, I'm looking at it from an interesting thing, because if you think about it, like we have to observe all this and take all this into consideration for what we're doing too, because we're all in the same boat. If it's Hoonigan like way up here, or if it's us or whoever's in the middle, or like anybody on YouTube, we all are kind of living in the same ecosystem. You know what I mean?
We're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
There is some questions.
Yeah, hit me with them.
I don't know. This one I'm going to read it. It's kind of long, so we didn't screen this one, so let's see what it is.
Okay.
This is from Hoff, 50_50_1. It says, hey, so you guys were just talking about what is allowed as a mini truck. I'm an old school mini trucker and now car builder and restoration and airbrush artist, custom painter for the last 33 years. I was going to build another mini truck, but a VW Bug build has been on my list forever and was definitely going for the mini truck style. So my question is about where do these different builds fit in, because the VW Bug guys absolutely hate it. And I personally think I fit in better with the mini truck scene.
That has been an age-old thing since the inception of mini trucks, because like the hot rod guy.
Hold on, let me finish it.
Real quick, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's fine. I just had to hit the accept. I don't get. He said, the VW guys absolutely hate it, and I personally think I fit in better with the mini scene. I don't get to the shows that much anymore, and I live where minis are few and far between. I don't think I'm alone with this, or maybe I am. Okay, so
okay, done. Yeah, the mini truck scene has been that since its inception. And this is, again, I've said this before, that's why I love it so much. It's just a collection of automotive custom enthusiasts who get kind of like kicked out of everywhere else. Like, you know what I mean? They're not the hot rod guys. They're not the back in the day, they weren't the van guys. You know, they weren't like the low rider guys. Well, I mean the van, the vans and
but the car thing wasn't always true either, because mini trucks, the cars weren't even allowed in mini truck clubs until early 90s.
Yeah, that's true.
The rule was one car per club, but that's a way old school rule. You know, now, I mean, I say now, but the last
30 years.
30 years.
Yeah.
It is. It is. It's one of those things where he's going to take a VW bug and do body mods to it, and maybe he's going to put some graphics on it. He can't go to a VW show.
That's true.
Because they're very, I don't know, strict about what they like and don't like.
I've never been to a VW show, really, honestly.
I haven't either. I just know that it's very traditional.
I do know that as well. Yeah. Yeah.
So there's different styles. There's cow style. There's different, but a full-on one with graphics is definitely going to fit in more at a mini truck show
for sure. And that's what we'll do. I mean, Bubba in our club, he's a Volkswagen dude, has a sick microbus, and that's not built in any one traditional way or one way. It's just a cool looking bus. I think, and that kind of like what we're touching on is that whole thing about, and we maybe should start at the top of the episode with this discussion, but like the whole thing about like us saying that this is a mini truck show and what is mini trucks and stuff. And we came to the conclusion that it's just cool. We just want stuff that's cool. We want people who are cool. I think that's another, like big thing to it as well, but
it is. It's hard because I do get a lot of questions like, hey, is this cool? And it's like a laid out K5 Blazer.
You're like, yeah.
Yeah. But to those guys like that, they don't know what mini truck style is. So it's very confusing to get that.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Term across, because
I get it.
What we don't want, obviously we know what we don't want.
Mm-hmm.
And we know what we do want. So
yeah. How was it? Yeah. What was really cool was when the registrations dropped and everybody was picking up their registrations and stuff. Everybody like posting a screenshot of their thing and then doing like their car. Was that through Instagram? Like them cutting out their cars?
No, you do that on your phone. You've never cut out a picture on your phone?
No.
No. Yeah. You just get a picture of your truck. Or anything, and let's see. So like here's this, right?
Yeah.
You just go like this.
Oh, okay. I have done that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you copy it, and then
and then they just screenshot. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. I thought that was really neat.
One guy did it, and then everyone started doing it. And
I thought it was really cool.
Looks like I started a trend. Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, that was.
But
really awesome.
So I think this guy is basically saying, you're gonna have to take your VW to mini truck shows. That's
or just take it wherever you want, man. If you want to go to a Volkswagen show, go to a Volkswagen show. It's their problem that they're being jerks about it,
Yeah.
Just do whatever you want, my guy.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's it. That's the hour. Thanks for tuning into this pharmaceutical drug-induced thrown together show this week.
I know when I was like, we don't even know what we're talking about, but we figured it out.
Yeah. Here we are. Another episode down, episode 89.
89. So episode 90, we don't know who it's going to be.
Yeah. Tune in next week for the surprise.
We don't know what order these are going to go in.
Right. But it's going to be, for sure, it's going to be a guest episode. Even if I'm missing a limb, I'm going to be out there and we're going to record some episodes.
Well, depending on their schedule, it might be 2 weeks from now.
Oh.
Who knows?
Yeah. We'll see. And then we'll make up a show next week too.
Yeah.
All right. LiveLifeCustom.com, grinder-tv.com. Please buy stuff. We're giving stuff away. AccuAir E-Level Kit. It's going really well. We only have a couple more weeks of that going on.
Yeah.
So get down on it. And thank you to those who have already gotten down on it. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, it's going to be a big draw. We should do, I have an extra GSI calendar here that I'm going to throw in for a second place prize, but maybe we could do, you printed all the t-shirts already or no?
For the drop?
Yeah.
They will be done. They'll be done soon.
Oh, I was going to say, if you want to throw you said you were going to make a couple of hoodies.
Yeah.
Maybe we could make a couple, and then we could do that as a prize too for someone, because we got a lot of entries. So
cool, awesome, yeah, we could definitely do that. So do that. Websites, go do that, and hopefully next week when you tune in, there's guest episodes.
Yeah.
All right. Later.